The spaceship Silver Reach was huge and cold. It carried hundreds of humans across the stars, searching for a new world. Among them was a boy named Leo, only 12 years old. He had brown hair, curious eyes, and a habit of sneaking around places. He wasn't supposed to be. Leo was born on the ship. He had never seen Earth. His parents worked in the ship's engine room. They were always busy, so Leo often explored alone. He loved quiet corners, empty halls, and forgotten storage bays. That's how he found her. It was a quiet afternoon. The lights in the cargo section were dim. Most people stayed away from that part of the ship. Leo had come looking for a place to hide and think. That's when he heard a strange sound, like a soft whisper mixed with a cough. He froze. Someone or something was hiding behind the storage crates. Slowly, carefully, Leo crept forward. He peeked around the metal box. What he saw made him step back in shock. There was a small creature curled up on the floor. Its skin was smooth and silvery blue. Its eyes were large, glowing faintly in the dark. It had long fingers and a small mouth. The creature looked hurt and very, very scared. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then Leo spoke. "Hey, are you okay?" The creature flinched, but it didn't run. It looked at him with wide eyes. Then, softly, it whispered something in a strange language Leo didn't understand, but he could feel the fear in its voice. He crouched down slowly and took off his jacket. "You're cold," he said. "Here." The creature didn't move. Leo gently placed the jacket over its small body. "It's okay. I won't tell anyone." The creature looked surprised. Then, after a pause, it touched the jacket and pulled it closer. Its eyes blinked slowly like a silent thank you. Leo sat beside it. "I'm Leo," he said. "What's your name?" The creature pointed to its chest and said, "Ari." "Ari," Leo repeated with a smile. "Nice to meet you." Over the next few days, Leo visited Ari in secret. He brought food and water. He taught her simple words. Ari learned fast. She spoke in a soft, musical voice. She told Leo she came from a planet far away. Her people were peaceful, but something went wrong. She had been running from soldiers and somehow sneaked onto the Silver Reach. Before it left the last station, Ari was only a child, to maybe the same age as Leo. Though it was hard to tell, she was smart, kind, and full of wonder. She loved hearing about humans and laughed at Leo's silly jokes. But danger was always close. The crew had strict rules. All alien contact had to be reported. Unknown aliens were seen as threats. If anyone found Ari, they might hurt her or worse. One day, Leo's father noticed something strange. "You've been going to the cargo bay a lot," he said. "What are you doing down there?" "Just playing," Leo lied. "It's quiet." His father narrowed his eyes. "Stay out of there. It's not safe. Some equipment is unstable." Leo nodded but felt his heart race. That night, he ran back to Ari. "You have to leave soon," he said. "They're getting suspicious." Ari nodded. "Where do I go?" "I don't know. But there's a small station we're stopping at tomorrow. Maybe you can hide on it." Ari looked down. "Will you come to?" Leo shook his head. "I can't. My family's here." "But I'll miss you." She looked at him for a long time, her eyes soft and shining. "You helped me," she said quietly. "You were kind when no one else would be." Leo smiled sadly. "You're my friend." "Of course I helped." Ari reached out and took his hand. Her fingers were cool and gentle. "I will remember you, Earth Boy. Always." The next morning, Leo helped Ari sneak into a cargo pod. When the Silver Reach docked at the small supply station, the pod was unloaded. Nobody noticed the tiny stowaway inside. From a distance, Leo watched her step out of the pod and vanish into the shadows of the station. Just before she disappeared, she turned and looked back. Their eyes met. She raised her hand slowly. Leo raised his to and then she was gone. After that, life went on. The ship left the station. Leo grew older. He never told anyone about Ari. But every time he saw the stars, he wondered if she was out there safe, alive, and remembering him too. He didn't know that one day, many years later, The whole galaxy would remember him because of the choice he made that day. And that's somewhere. In the dark corners of space, a girl named Ari was waiting and keeping her promise. Years had passed since Leo saw Ari. The Silver Reach had finished its journey. Leo and his family moved to a new human colony on a planet called Vera 5. It had green skies, tall blue trees, and air humans could breathe. People said it was the start of a new future. Leo was no longer a child. Now, at 24, he worked as a mechanic on a human defense ship called the Stonebird. He fixed engines, cleaned machines, and sometimes helped pilots with emergency repairs. He was quiet and hardworking. Most people liked him, but he didn't talk much about his past. He never told anyone about Ari. The war begins tonight. Alarms rang through the ship. Red lights flashed. Leo ran to the station as the captain shouted orders. Enemy ships. Velari Union forces approaching. The Velari Union was an alien empire that had started attacking human colonies without warning. Their ships were sharp and fast. Their weapons were deadly. No one knew exactly why they attacked. Some said they feared humans. Others said they just wanted control of new planets. Leo felt the Stonebird shake as weapons fired. He braced himself and continued working, fixing a coolant leak in one of the gun batteries. Later, after the attack ended, Leo looked at the damaged hull and the injured crew. He felt anger, but also something deeper. The galaxy was bigger than he ever imagined. And humans were no longer explorers. They were fighters now. Humanity fights. Back in the months that followed, Earth and its allies fought back. New ships were built. Soldiers were trained. Colonies united. Humans were clever and stubborn. They didn't give up easily. But the Velari were powerful. Their war fleets moved fast. They destroyed stations and blockaded trade routes. Even peaceful species were afraid to help. Humans. The Galactic Council, a group of alien races that tried to keep peace, stayed silent. Leo's ship was sent to help defend a mining outpost on the edge of space. The mission was dangerous. The Velari had been seen nearby. As the Stonebird moved into position, Leo looked out the window. So many stars, so many lives in danger. He wondered again, where was Ari now? Whispers of peace during a short stop at a neutral station. Leo heard strange news. A new alien ambassador had spoken before the Galactic Council. She was from a race called the Alari, a species no one had heard from in a long time. She spoke with calm words and a clear voice. She didn't ask for war. She asked for peace. Leo overheard the officers talking. They say she's young, one said. Mysterious. No one knows why she supports humans. Another added, she's gathering support. But she's also made enemies. Some say she's being watched. Leo listened but said nothing. A feeling stirred deep inside him. He remembered soft eyes, a whisper in the dark, and a promise. Could it be? No, it couldn't. A deadly ambush 2 weeks later. The Stonebird was patrolling near a gas cloud called the Ash Veil. They received a signal, a small transport asking for help. The captain ordered the ship to move closer. It was a trap. 3 Velari cruisers appeared from the cloud, firing without warning. The Stonebird shook hard. Lights blinked. Crew members shouted. The defense cannons returned fire, but they were outnumbered. Leo rushed to the engine room. Sparks flew. Pipes hissed. A fuel line was leaking. We're losing power, someone shouted. Leo worked fast, sealing the pipe with a patch, but the ship kept shaking. Then came the final blow, a direct hit to the reactor core. The ship went dark. Everything stopped. They were floating dead in space, a strange rescue just as the Velari ships moved in for the kill. Something strange happened. A sleek, silver ship appeared from nowhere. It didn't look human or Velari. It moved like it was dancing between the stars. It fired once. A blue beam shot across space, hitting one of the Velari cruisers and shutting it down instantly. The other 2 Velari ships turned to fight, but the silver ship was too fast. In seconds, they were gone, disabled, not destroyed. Then the silver ship stopped beside the Stonebird. A message came through. This is a Lari diplomatic vessel, Lightwind. We are here for 1 passenger, Leo of Earth. Everyone on the Stonebird was confused. Leo was shocked. Me, he whispered. Before anyone could argue, a soft light surrounded him and in a blink, he vanished. The voice he knew. Leo opened his eyes. He was standing in a quiet, beautiful room filled with soft lights and smooth walls. Everything felt peaceful. In front of him stood a tall figure, robed in silver and blue. She had shimmering skin, long fingers, eyes that glowed faintly. Leo froze. "Ari," he said. Barely able to speak, the figure smiled. "It has been many years, Earth Boy," she said softly. "Do you remember me?" Leo nodded slowly. His voice shook. "I never forgot you." Ari stepped forward and took his hand, just like she did long ago. "I kept my promise," she said. "And now, I need your help." Leo still couldn't believe his eyes. The girl he had once saved in a dark cargo bay was now standing tall in front of him. She looked older, wiser, but her voice was the same, calm, soft, kind. "Ari," he whispered again. She smiled gently. "I'm glad you remember me, Leo." He looked around the room. It was quiet and bright. The floor felt warm under his feet. Strange lights floated gently in the air. Everything around him felt alive, as if the ship itself was breathing. "What is this place?" Leo asked. "This is the Light Wind," Ari replied. "One of the Alari's oldest and most trusted ships. It's not just a ship, it's a living being. It chose to come here. For you." Leo stared at her. "But why me?" A promise kept. Ari walked slowly toward him. Her movements were graceful, almost like dancing. She stopped just in front of him and held out her hand. "You helped me once, when I had no one. You saved me. You showed me kindness, without asking for anything in return." Leo remembered the cold cargo bay, the fear in her eyes, and how small and lost she had been. "I was just a kid," he said. "You were more than that," Ari said. "You were brave, and you were human, yet you chose peace over fear." She turned to a glowing table at the center of the room. A map of the galaxy appeared in the air. Red lights marked battle zones. Yellow lights showed neutral territories. A few green lights blinked slowly, safe zones. "The Velari are spreading," Ari said. "They are attacking not just humans, but anyone who stands for peace. Many races are afraid to act." Leo frowned. "Then why did you help me? Your ship saved us." "Because it's time to stop hiding," Ari said firmly. "And because I believe in you." Ari's story explained everything. After leaving the human station years ago, Ari returned to her people, the Alari. They were a quiet race, watchers and thinkers. They avoided conflict. They had powerful knowledge, but chose to live in hidden worlds, far from war. When Ari told her leaders about humans and about Leo, they were unsure. Some believed humanity was too violent. Others were curious. But Ari never gave up. She became a diplomat. She studied languages, politics, and technology. Slowly, she earned respect. And then, when the war began, she made a bold move. She spoke before the Galactic Council, asking for peace with humans. Some listened, some mocked her. Others tried to silence her. "But I kept going," she said, looking at Leo. "Because I remembered you." Leo felt his throat tighten. He didn't know what to say. A new missionary tapped the map. A new light appeared, a blinking red signal on the edge of Velari space. "This," she said, "is a hidden station. The Velari are building something powerful there. A weapon. Perhaps. We need to find out." Leo blinked. "You want me to go there?" Ari nodded. "You're not just anyone, Leo. You're the reason I believe humans and Alari can work together. You understand both kindness and strength." Leo hesitated. "I'm not a soldier. I fix engines. You're more than that now," she said. "And you won't go alone." The Tiamari introduced him to the team. First came Roar, a short, furry alien with thick arms and a deep voice. He was an expert pilot and skilled in close combat. He didn't like humans at first, but Ari trusted him. Then came Minna, a quiet girl with pale skin and bright eyes. She was a tech genius, mute, but she communicated through a small floating drone that translated her thoughts. She smiled at Leo shyly and gave a small wave. "This team," Ari said, "will help you reach the station, find out what's being built, and return safely." Leo looked at them all. He had never been on a mission like this. But something deep inside him, something that had been quiet for years, woke up. He nodded. All right, I'll do it. Enemies in the shadows as the light wind prepared for departure. Ari walked with Leo through a long hallway. Strange glowing plants lined the walls, and soft music played from hidden speakers. But Ari looked troubled. Someone inside the council wants me gone, she said quietly. They don't want peace with humans. They believe war will bring power. Leo tensed. You think they'll try to stop us? I know they will, she said. That's why we have to move quickly. Suddenly, the ship jolted. A siren rang out. Ari turned sharply. Security breach. Someone's here. Attacking the shadows. Leo and Ari ran to the control chamber. There, they found Roar standing over a knocked-out intruder, a tall, sharp-faced alien in black armor. Ari touched a small crystal on the wall, and the lights turned blue. Valari's spy, she said. They're watching us, Roar growled. He tried to plant something near the engine. Leo looked closer. A small device was in the spy's hand. It was glowing red, almost like a tracker. Ari's voice was cold. They wanted to follow us and stop us before we could act. Leo's fist clenched. Then we have no time to waste. Onward into darkness that night, as the ship entered silent space near the edge of Valari territory, Leo stood by the window. The stars stretched forever. Somewhere out there, war was growing. But now, he was not alone. Ari stepped beside him. She looked tired, but her eyes were full of hope. Thank you, Leo, she said softly. He smiled. You once said you'd remember me. Now, I'll make sure I don't let you down. Their journey had just begun. The ship light wind moved quietly through deep space. Its smooth surface shimmered like silver water, gliding past dying stars and dark clouds. Inside, Leo stood in the briefing room with Ari, Roar, and Minna. A large glowing screen showed us spinning. Stationed far ahead, the place looked like a black metal flower floating above a broken moon. This is the Valari base, Ari said, pointing. It's hidden from most sensors. They've been building something inside. We still don't know what. Roar crossed his arms. Could be a weapon. Maybe a control hub. Mina's drone buzzed softly. Text appeared on the screen. Heavy. Energy spikes. Could be a gravity weapon. Leo's eyes narrowed. And we're going in there? Ari nodded. We don't have a choice. If the Valari complete it, entire planets will be in danger. Leo looked at his team. Each one had something to lose. Ari had her people's trust. Roar had his code of honor. Minna had secrets even she hadn't shared. And Leo, he had a promise to keep. Let's do it, he said. A stealthy and tried plan was risky. Ari would stay on the light wind and keep contact. Leo, Roar, and Minna would take a small stealth shuttle to land on the far side of the base. The plan was to sneak inside, find the control room, and collect data. The shuttle launched silently. Inside, Leo sat beside Minna, checking his small toolkit. He wasn't a soldier, but he could fix machines and sometimes break them. To Roar, piloted with expert hands. His furry face stayed calm, but Leo saw his eyes scanning the stars carefully. No mistakes, Roar said. One wrong move, we're toast. The Valari base grew larger. Lights blinked across its surface like watchful eyes. The shuttle passed through a narrow gap in the station's outer wall. They were in. Inside, the enemy besieged. The hull was cold and dark. Leo followed Roar through the narrow metal tunnels. Minna floated behind, her drone scanning for traps. Strange symbols covered the walls. The air smelled like burnt metal. They found a control room quickly. Leo plugged a small device into the panel. I'll download what I can. As he worked, screens around them lit up. Strange blueprints, numbers, and codes flashed. Roar frowned. This isn't just a weapon. This thing. It controls movement across space. Leo looked up. You mean, like a wormhole gate? Mina's drone buzzed. No. It changes gravity fields. Could pull a planet apart. Roar cursed under his breath. That's worse. Suddenly, the lights turned red. Alarms rang. They found us, Leo said. Running through for F-Team ran. Guards flooded the hull's. Valari soldiers with long armor and energy spears. Roar pushed forward, fighting with strong arms and quick moves. Minna used a small tool to create electric smoke. Blinding the guards, Leo followed, clutching the data crystal. We can't let them catch this. They reached the shuttle dock, but it was surrounded. A guard charged at Leo. He fell back, but Roar tackled the alien to the ground. More soldiers came. Then, a voice echoed through the hallway. Stop! Everyone froze. At the far end stood a tall Valari officer. His armor glowed with dark blue lines. His face was sharp, his eyes cold. I know you, he said, pointing at Leo. The human, the one the Alari ambassador protects. Leo stood still, heart pounding. You will come. With us, the officer said. Leo held the crystal tighter. No, he said quietly. We're leaving. The officer raised his hand. Suddenly, the wall beside them exploded. A blast of silver light tore through the hull. Lightwind's emergency rescue drone. A door opened. Get in, Ari's voice shouted through a speaker. Leo jumped in. Minna followed. Roar climbed in last, grabbing the wall to launch the shuttle back toward their ship. Safe. But not safe back on the Lightwind. The team collapsed in the control room. The data crystal was safe. Ari took it gently. You did well. This could save thousands of lives. Leo leaned against the wall, breathing hard. They knew me. How? Ari looked serious. Some members of the Galactic Council don't want peace. They fear what an alliance between humans and Alari could do. She paused. And someone is working against us from inside. Leo stared. You think there's a spy? Ari nodded. Yes, someone close. Someone who knew our plan. The room felt quiet. Memories and fierce that night. Leo stood alone near a window. Stars moved quietly outside. Ari walked in, holding two cups of warm Alari tea. You did more than I asked, she said, handing him a cup. Leo smiled. Just doing what any friend would do. She looked at him. You still see me as that scared girl in the cargo bay. Leo shook his head. No, you're stronger now, braver, a leader. But still your friend? She asked softly. Always. They stood in silence. The stars outside looked peaceful, but war was coming fast. A new mission the next morning. Ari called a meeting. I looked through the crystal, she said. The Valari aren't working alone. Roar looked surprised. Who's helping them? Ari touched the map again. A new symbol appeared. The Rithari Syndicate. Pirates, smugglers, mercenaries. They're building parts of the weapon secretly. Mina's drone flashed. We need proof. Ari nodded. They meet at a council trade station in 5 days. We must go there. If we catch them making a deal, the council can no longer stay silent. Leo stood up. Then we leave now. Enemies. Closer than ever as the ship prepared for the next jump, Leo walked through the halls. Checking systems, he heard a sound behind him. Footsteps. When he turned, no one was there. He didn't know it yet, but the spy was already moving. And this time, their plan was more dangerous than before. The ship Lightwind entered the space around Council Station Arthas, a giant ring-shaped station floating near a calm blue star. This place was home to the Galactic Council, a group of powerful species who claimed to keep peace in the galaxy. But now, peace was cracking. Leo stood at the main window, watching the station grow larger. Around it floated hundreds of ships, diplomatic vessels, trading crafts, and war cruisers. The galaxy was watching. Ari stood beside him, wearing a silver and blue robe. Her face was calm, but Leo could see the weight in her eyes. This is where it all changes, she said softly. Stepping into the council landing bay opened. Ari, Leo, Roar, and Minna stepped onto the station's floor. Guards with tall helmets watched them closely. Ari walked with grace and purpose. Leo followed, wearing a clean dark suit. He felt like an outsider, but he walked tall. Inside the main hall, members of different alien races filled high seats. Some had wings, some had metal skin, some floated above their chairs. Their eyes all turned toward Ari and Leo. A voice echoed across the room. Ambassador Ari of the Alari, you may speak. Ari stepped forward. I come with proof, she said. Proof that the Valari Union and the Rithari Syndicate are working together to build a superweapon. They plan to use it against Earth and many others. Gasps filled the room. Ari held up A small crystal, a screen above them showed images from the Velari base, the blueprints, the energy fields, and the hidden Rithari ships. Leo watched carefully. Some council members looked shocked, others looked angry. A tall alien with green scales stood up. "And why should we trust humans?" he said sharply. "They are violent, dangerous, and always ready to fight." Ari's voice stayed calm. "There is darkness in every race, but there is also light. One human boy saved my life when he had no reason to. Today, that same boy helped uncover a truth that could save us all." She turned. "Leo, step forward." Leo speaks. Leo took a deep breath. He walked to the center of the hall. Hundreds of alien eyes watched him. "My name is Leo. I'm not a soldier. I'm not a hero. Years ago, I found someone who was afraid and alone. I helped her, not because I wanted something, but because it was right." He paused. "Since then, I've seen what war can do. I've seen friends die. I've seen colonies burn. But I've also seen bravery, kindness, and hope. Not just in humans, in others too." He looked around the chamber. "If we let the Velari grow stronger, none of US will be safe. Not Alari. Not humans. Not anyone." Voices rose. Then silence. The chamber fell quiet. Then another council member stood, a bird-like alien with soft feathers. "I saw the humans save lives at the station near the Ash Veil," she said. "He stayed behind to help the wounded. He could have escaped, but he didn't." Others began whispering. The green-scaled alien growled. "This is a trick." Suddenly, an explosion rocked the chamber. Boom. Smoke filled the room. Lights flickered. Guards ran to protect the council members. Leo grabbed Ari and pulled her back from the smoke. A figure appeared. A masked attacker raised a weapon. Roar tackled him in one move, slamming him to the ground. The mask broke. A gasp. It was a council assistant, one of the inner workers, someone trusted. Ari's face turned pale. "They're deeper than we thought." A line is drawn after the chaos. Security sealed the chamber. The council called a private meeting. Only top members, plus Ari and Leo, were allowed in. The vote was close. Some still wanted to stay out of the conflict. Others feared they would be next if they didn't act. Then, the leader of the council, a glowing being known as the voice of balance, spoke for the first time. "The evidence is clear. The Rithari and Velari are breaking the council's peace law. We must act." A new vote was called. The result: support the Alari-Human Alliance, prepared to stop the weapon. Ari closed her eyes with relief. Leo smiled. "We did it." But Roar, standing nearby, muttered, "This was only the first fire. More is coming." Back to the ship, returning to Lightwind, the team was quiet. The council had agreed to help, but the enemy wasn't finished. Leo sat beside Minna, watching her fix one of the ship's scanners. Her hands were fast and focused. Her drone buzzed softly. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded and typed into her drone. "One battle down. Many to go." Roar joined them. "I don't trust those council types. Some still think we're the threat." Leo agreed. "One of them tried to kill us, and they had help." Ari entered the room. She had removed her formal robe and wore a simple tunic now. She looked tired, but strong. "We leave in the morning," she said. "The station where the weapon parts are built. It's in Rithari space." Leo stood. "What's the plan?" "The final mission begins." Sari pressed a button. A map appeared, showing a hidden asteroid base. "We go in quietly. We gather proof. We shut it down if we can." Leo nodded. "We've done it before." She looked at him. "It will be harder this time. The Rithari don't play fair. And we now know there's a spy." Everyone looked at each other. Who could it be? Dark eyes watching far away. In the shadows of the council station, a figure watched the Lightwind. Leave. A communicator blinked on his wrist. A voice crackled through. "Follow them. Make sure they don't come back." The figure nodded and disappeared into the crowd. The real war was just beginning. End of Part 5. The stars outside the Lightwind drifted slowly as the ship entered a quiet part of space. Ari stood near the control panel, her eyes focused on the screen showing the small asteroid belt. Behind one of those rocks, hidden by a cloaking field, was the Rithari assembly station, the secret factory where parts of the doomsday weapon were being made. Leo checked his gear. His heart beat faster. We're really doing this, aren't we? Roar nodded. This is where plans turn to dust or history is made. Minna sent a signal to her small drone. It beeped, then floated beside her, scanning the path ahead. Her screen blinked green. No defense field, Minna said. Yet, the approach asteroid field was tight and full of sharp rock edges. Roar carefully guided the light wind between the narrow gaps. One wrong move and the ship would crash. Leo kept his eyes on the map. There, he pointed, a small heat signature. That could be the entrance. This slowed the ship, powering down most systems to avoid detection. The station was hidden inside a hollow asteroid, masked by debris. Minna whispered, I see. A small dock. Ari turned to them. We go in silent. Get evidence, if possible. Disable the weapon systems. And get out before they know we were ever there, Leo added. Landing in the shadows, the ship touched down gently. Lights were off. Only emergency power pulsed along the station's outer wall. It looked abandoned, but they knew better. The group wore slim space suits with stealth coating. Minna's drone lit the path with soft blue pulses. Ari moved ahead, graceful and silent. Roar took the rear. Inside, the station was dark and cold. The metal walls were covered in strange writing Rithari. Codes. The machine stood silent, like sleeping beasts. Then, a noise. Whirring. Low footsteps. A patrol. The team pressed against the wall, barely breathing. Two Rithari guards passed. Tall and thin with glowing armor. Their eyes scanned the hallway but didn't see the humans or Ari. As they disappeared around a corner, Roar muttered, to close. The Koramina led them to the central chamber. Her drone accessed a nearby panel, unlocking a hidden door. Inside, the room opened wide, filled with giant energy cores and blueprint screens floating in the air. Leo walked to a screen. This is it. Ari studied the glowing images. The weapon, phase 2, is almost complete. Minna began recording everything. Her drone copied files quickly. Suddenly, red lights flashed. The door behind them sealed shut. A voice echoed across the room, cold and deep. You should not have come here. Carter Rithari commander stepped from the shadows. His armor was black with red lines running through it. I knew you would come, Ari, he said. And the Earth boy too. What a pair. Leo stood tall. We're here to stop you. The commander laughed. You're too late. The weapon will launch in days. And now, you will not leave this place. Guards filled the chamber. Roar reached for his blade. Minna moved to shield her drone. Ari raised her hand. Wait, she stepped forward. Let the humans go. This is between you and me. The commander tilted his head. You think I care. You all die here. But suddenly, boom, a shockwave shook the station. The wall behind the guards exploded. From the smoke, a small fighter ship appeared. A new voice called, Get in. It was a council rescue team sent by the feathered alien Leo had met before. The escape blaster fire filled the room. The council team threw in smoke bombs, covering the escape. Ari grabbed Leo's hand and pulled him toward the exit. Minna's drone buzzed with urgency. It flashed a green light. It had copied all the weapon data. Roar fought off the guards, then leapt into the escape ship. As the ship lifted, the Rithari commander threw a plasma spear, but it missed by inches. They flew out of the asteroid, dodging defense turrets. Council ships appeared above, firing at the base to keep it from launching anything. Inside the rescue ship, Ari leaned against the wall. Her breath was heavy, but her eyes were filled with fire. We have what we need, she said. Now the galaxy must act. The call to arms back at Council Station Arthas. The team presented the new data. This time, there was no debate. The Council voted to declare a full threat response. Fleet ships began to gather. Messages were sent to allied worlds. Humans, Alari, and other peaceful species answered the call. Roar stood at the war table, placing markers on the map. They will attack Earth first, he said. We need to stop them at the edge of their space. Leo asked, what happens if they don't stop? Roar's face was hard. Then Earth burns, and we all follow. Ari stepped forward. We will not let that happen. She looked at Leo. You ready, Earth Boy? He nodded. I didn't come this far to quit now. A moment alone that night. Before the final plan was shared, Leo stood alone near the observation deck. Stars blinked quietly outside. Ari joined him. Strange, she said. I once stared at the stars, wondering if I'd ever see you again. Leo smiled. And I thought I'd imagined you all those years ago. She looked at him softly. You reminded me that kindness can be stronger than fear. Leo nodded. And you reminded me that the galaxy isn't so big when we fight together. They stood there in silence for a while. Then Ari said, Tomorrow, we end this. Darkness on the horizon for beyond the council's borders, the Rithari fleet began to move. Black ships with red engines rose from their bases. The weapon core was loaded into the Warbringer, a massive. The stars shone cold and distant as fleets gathered near the edge of Velari's space. On one side, the combined forces of humans, Alari, and their allies prepared for battle. On the other, the Velari and Rithari fleets, dark and menacing, stood ready to unleash destruction. Leo stood on the bridge of the Lightwind, watching the glowing dots of ships in space. His heart was heavy, but his spirit was strong. Next to him, Ari stood calm and steady, the same gentle strength that had once saved him now lighting her eyes. This is it, she said softly. Leo nodded. For all we've worked for everyone depending on us. The battle began suddenly. The space between the two fleets exploded into life. Lasers, missiles, and energy blasts cut through the black. The sound was a roaring thunder in the void. Leo moved quickly, helping the engineers repair damage and guide pilots. The Lightwind danced through the chaos. Ari sending comm orders to the fleet through the council channels. Roar fought fiercely, leading boarding parties to capture enemy ships. Mina's drones flew ahead, hacking enemy systems and helping protect their own. Despite the fear and danger, hope burned bright. Ari's bold move ended the battle. Ari turned to Leo. We have one chance. The weapon's control core is on the Warbringer. If we take it out, the battle could end. Leo swallowed. How? We board it, Ari said. Together, Leo saw the fire in her eyes. Then let's finish this. The boarding is singing. Fast shuttle, Ari, Leo, Roar, and Mina approached the Warbringer. The massive ship loomed, dark and threatening. They landed on the hull, cutting through the armored plating with tools and weapons. Guards attacked immediately, but the team fought with skill and determination. Inside the ship, Carters twisted and hummed with power. They moved quickly toward the control core. Face to face the heart of the Warbringer. The team found the Rithari commander waiting. I knew you would come, he sneered. You can't stop what has already begun. Ari stepped forward. We stop it here. The commander raised a weapon. The fight began. Blades clashed, energy crackled. Leo dodged and fought, protecting Ari and Mina. Roar battled the guards outside the room. The power of humanity in the fight. Leo's heart remembered something, the kindness and bravery that had started this journey. He moved with a new strength, fighting not just to survive, but to protect the future. Mina's drones disabled enemy weapons. Ari's calm words found a way to weaken the commander's resolve. Finally, Leo struck the final blow, knocking the weapon from the commander's hand. The control core shut down. Victory and Promiseth Warbringer began to lose power. The Velari and Rithari forces started to retreat back on the Lightwind. The fleet cheered as the battle ended. Ari smiled at Leo. You kept your promise, Earth Boy. Leo smiled back. You never forgot me either. A new beginning with the threat ended. The council formed a new alliance. Humans and Alari became symbols of hope for peace in the galaxy. Leo returned to Vera 5. But now he knew the stars held friends, battles, and promises worth keeping. And Ari, she continued her work, a bridge between worlds.